Welcome back, McClever Thoughts podcast with Punchie, man. How you doing, YouTube? You know, any new subscribers, y'all hit that subscribe button. Y'all hit that like button down there as well as the people who've been supporting me for this time being. I want you to hit that like button as well. I also thank you guys for supporting me and this journey that I'm succeeding, and let's continue to embrace, the information that I share with you, hoping that it be an impact on your life. So I'm going to get straight into it. Over the week, I've been really had on my mind this about this post that I seen, and this post was about a young man finding out that a child wasn't his. And that was so touching to me because, I want to share my story with you about me being a father to a child that wasn't mine and finding out that situation. I know a lot of you out there that know me just think that, I never had no kids, or you even know of the situation of me having a child that's not mine and actually dealing with that for 20 years. I'm gonna also let you know the outcome of that as well, and how that's made a major impact on my life. Well, it all began when I was around the age of 19, and I went to school in Dodge City, Kansas. That didn't pan out good for me. So I came home, and at the time my mama was real adamant about me, either getting a job or getting out of her house. She didn't even care if I went to college or not. She wanted me to either get a job or get out of my house, or get out of her house. So of course, at that time I was 19. I was literally being spoiled. She had spoiled me all up to that time, but she was disappointed in me. I got a kid out of school. So I had to come home, and so I wasn't really, I wasn't really doing nothing with my life at that time. Like I said, 19 years old, I'm staying home every day. She arguing at me, you need to do something with yourself. And at that time, it was my friends that was also not in school at the time. So every now and then I'd be hanging around with them. So it was this chat line at the time. And like I said, I'm telling my truth. So, and we used to get on this chat line. I don't remember the name, but everybody and mama was on that chat line. so I'm on the chat line, and I met this chick on the chat line, man. So, at the time, and I love this my saying now, smash and pass. So at the time, I was going through my smash and pass phase. So I met up with the chick, I smashed, pass on for a couple of months, come back, smash and pass again. So, and pass don't mean pass on that woman. I mean pass to smash and pass mean you move on, you pass on. Like she almost like she dead to you. So you pass on, she dead to you. So smash and pass mean you bust down and then you move on. So at that's in my youthful phase. So I only did this like 2 times with this individual at the time. So at the time I was like literally, not even thinking about it. I was praying to God, like, God, give me to get back in school. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to, put me in that situation. Lord, I'm praying hard. Lord, just bless me back, get back in the situation, get back in school. And God did that. You know what I'm saying? At the time, He allowed me to go back. He allowed me to go continue my education in South Carolina at a HBCU, Allen University. So me preparing for that, in the midst of that, I received a phone call. And it's like, that girl, and she she's telling me, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, what's up? And first, and she say, like, after that, hey, I'm pregnant. I'm like, what? She said, yeah, I'm 3 months pregnant. Oh, you're 3 months pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I'm like, shoot, I know I slept with her. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not thinking like, you know, about no condom. I'm just thinking about, well, you need to get rid of it. If you put it on me, you need to get rid of it. That's my first initiative. I'm not thinking about none of the other stuff. I'm not thinking about if it's a possibility of another guy, none of that. I'm literally like, well, you need to get rid of that. Because I did smash and pass. But it was like, it ain't done me like the time, and you know, all that wasn't even adding up at the time. I just went along with it. Hey, you need to get rid of that. So, you know, me and her had got into it because, like I say, this ain't no girl that I'm really messing with. It's just somebody that I, you know, was intimate with at the moment. So, you know, time goes on. I ain't told my mama yet, because I already know my mama gonna go slap off. You having unprotected sex, and you out there sleeping with God knows who, and I told you about having sex before marriage. My mama finna go off, so I'm trying my best not to let her know nothing, you know. So one day the girl called again. It probably about 3 months later. You know what I'm saying? That's when she like 6 months. Mind you, like I said, I'm preparing to go to school, and it was like probably about five to 6 months before I went to school. You know what I'm saying? So it's around that 6 months, probably like the next month or so, I'm finna literally go to school. So I'm definitely trying to hide this from my mom until I go to school. So the girl called my mama house. I don't know if she was expecting to get me or whatever, but she called and my mama answered the phone. And she went to tell my mama what happened. I was like, oh Lord. So my mama called me, and that stupid behind boy, come here. As she get off the phone with the girl, I'm like, dang man, what your silly behind done got into? My mama going in. You done got this girl. I'm like, I don't even know what to say. I'm like, yeah, so I'm balling over there, tears and shit. Like I'm really hurt, you know, because I feel like I disappointed my mom. I feel like at the time my dreams and all my aspirations was done. I felt like it's just over. You know what I'm saying? But I really was ready to get up out of there at that time. I was ready to go to school. So fast forward a little bit, you know, a couple months down the line, you know, of course at the time my mama accepted it at the time, you know what I'm saying? The baby got here. Now when the baby came, I was in college, you know. And I never forget that day. We was actually getting ready for a football game, and I received a call, and the girl was like, hey, my mom, I think it was my mom called me. It was somebody called me like, you got a son. I never forget, it was in October. So I was like, okay, yeah, like you got a son, you know what I'm saying? And mind you, I ain't signed no paper because I ain't even in Florida. I'm in South Carolina. So I'm literally like, I ain't really happy about it, because to me it never really, you know, sat on me like, okay, this is my child. I know this is my child, but I accepted it. So I was like, I accepted it as my child, because I knew at the time, it's like you gotta accept that responsibility. You laid in that bed, you have to accept that responsibility. So, and that's all I was seeing: responsibility. This is how I was raised: responsibility. Shout out to moms. You know what I'm saying? So, that was the number one thing on my mind. So that's what made me accept the child. So, but it never really, like that love, like that closeness, like this bond, a true bond, like that ain't overtake me. I'm just being honest. Like that ain't overtake me. Like I was just, like I say, in it for his responsibility. So even while I was in school and stuff, you know, I was making sure that he had, you know, the little bit that I could do, from, you know, shoes to when I come home. If I had $10, I put $5 in his pocket. I go take him to a little, you know, when I ate food, I went and got my food. I got his food. He ate his own food, because I don't like all that slobbing and all that in my food. So he 1 year old. I treated him like a little king. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like I made sure as a responsible man to do my part, at least do as much as I possibly can do. Now, of course, you know, his unappreciative mother at the time was like, I need to do more. Man, you bitch, I'm in school. How can I do more? You should be thankful, first of all, getting an education. Second of all, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing what I can do. I'm literally, I come home, I'm getting them for about a week or two, you know? But like I said, I never felt that bond, you know what I'm saying? That bond. So mind you, mama the whole time, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, hey, you need to get a blood test. You know, even though my family stepped up to the plate, you know, they was a great help for me. My shouts out to my dad. My dad did take him on his wing. My mom, shouts out, mom took him on the wing. My brothers, you know what I'm saying? My sister, they took him up on the wing. I wouldn't say my sister. I'm gonna say my sister was kind of distant with him, but my little brother vibed with him. You know what I'm saying? Real good. So, you know, mom's telling me, hey, I think you need to get a DNA test. And I got a cousin on my dad's side. She like the know if your baby is not your baby whisper. like she'll look at the baby. No, that ain't your baby. She like the whisper. And I think she told my grandma, like, that ain't the Punchie baby. That ain't Punchie main baby. That ain't Punchie main baby. That's what she said. So when, you know, everybody that was coming around me was putting that in my head, I still was like, you know, responsibility. Now I accept this. And I think it was kind of like a little proudness in there to say I was a dad. You know what I'm saying? Even though I wasn't ready, because I still was trying to get out there. I was still out there. Hey, man, I was still doing my thing, man. It's around 19 to 23, 24 years old. You know what I'm saying? It's like my 20s, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, really, you know, not, you know, grasping like, hey man, this possibly might not be your son. Like, that ain't really hit me yet. Like, it's not saying it's far away now. Like I said, I never really felt like this close bond. I was just doing it out of responsibility to support him and provide for him. So my stepmother, shout out to my stepmom, she literally, me and her were having a conversation, and I'm gonna be honest with you. My mama, you know, gonna give it to me rough, and sometimes I don't always want that, but my stepmama know how to give it to me and know how to get exactly what she want to get out of me. I promise you. like my stepmama know how to get it out of me, boy. Listen, my stepmama said, call me and her were having a conversation, and I was talking to her, and she was like, Punchie, I think it's time, man. And if we have to go half and do what we have to do to you know, get that, but it's time for a DNA test. It's just time. Like, it was that calm. It was just that calm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, mind you, I was in school, we talking, and it hit me just right then and there. I was like, you know, mom's right. Mom's too right. Mind you, mom's one already been saying it, so I tell mom one. I've been told you that. You see, all you want to do, it take for your mama too to tell you this. And she wasn't saying I no shade, but she was saying you hard headed. You know, like, see, that one I ain't wanna. You know, I understand where you were coming from, but look at how you getting it to me. She know how to get it to me. So, I literally go and do the DNA test. You know what I'm saying? My mom, you know what I'm saying, and my stepmom and my dad done passed the bread up together, and I go take a DNA test. And in the midst of this ain't sitting right with the so-called baby mama at the time. You know, at the time she telling me, you need to step up to the plate. You need to be a man. You need to get your act together. That's why she coming at me now. She coming at me like this hard. So I'm like, man, listen, it is what it is. Cause I'm tired of cussing her out. I'm tired of going back and forth with her. I'm tired of it, y'all. I'm just tired. So go and take the DNA test. You know what I'm saying? And weeks later come back. 99.9 child ain't sure. What? Eyes get big, boy. Listen, okay, I know that feeling was real. Oh, sometimes I get that feeling. Yeah, that's real. That's real. So, you know, she ain't got the results, but she calling me like she done got the damn results, right? I know you got the results in it. She said her favorite line, you need to step up to the plate and be a man and do your job. That's how she coming at me, y'all. So I say, she say, so what's the results? I say, I am not the father. What? Oh, y'all rigged the test. Y'all know the people. Oh, y'all side it up. Bitch, how we started us? So I'm going in like that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not really a cursor and stuff like that. I'm just expressing the story how, and at the time is how I felt. So, and I don't disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't no disrespect to nobody, but I'm just telling the story. That's how I felt at the time. So yeah, I'm like, this ain't nobody set up no test, you know what I'm saying? This and the third. Oh yes, y'all did. Y'all know the people. How we know the people? We ain't no rich mother. You talking like we like we on a best friends basis with these people. Like this is my cousin laboratory that we got the test from. No, man, this what the test said. So she didn't want to accept that. So my mama just said, you know what? We'll take another test. You know what I'm saying? At a different company. And we're gonna make sure, you know what I'm saying, that you get the results, you know what I'm saying, directly. Did that test again. Guess what that test came out? 0.0 child mind. Oh man, now she, oh Lord Jesus, ballistic. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Nah, you need to believe it. It's true. It's true, baby. Believe it. So, you know, me at the time, I'm happy. Because at that time, I was on child support. All my bank accounts, you know, had got frozen. I couldn't, you know, leave the country if I wanted to. Because I couldn't get no passport. So I'm miserable. You know, with this baby mama shit, I'm miserable. I ain't gonna lie, I'm miserable. You know what I'm saying? So once I heard that news, I automatically went into like happy mode, because I'm like, man, I'm finna get out child support. I'm finna get out child support. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm finna get out child support. I ain't gotta worry about her no more. That's how I'm thinking, right? Nigga, we go to court, nigga. The judge tell me, excuse my language, the judge tell me, feed him till he look like you. What? No. Yeah, by the state of Florida, you know what I'm saying? The laws is, you know, you have to stay in that child's life because you did not respond to what you needed to respond to in a timely fashion. Oh man, I was crushed. She still was winning, y'all. She was winning. I mean, she was winning. I was like, man, I automatically went into a depression. And if y'all, you know, the people who listening to me and know me around this time, y'all kind of can get, and if y'all was like wondering what was going on, this what was going on. You know, so I'm literally like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm hurt. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I did not want to work. I did not want to do nothing. Only thing I want to do is go to school. That was the one thing I wanted to do. I always wanted to go back to college. That was like, that was important to me. And that was like, and to be honest with you, during that time at Allen University, I'm gonna say that's around what, 2001, between that 2007, 2001, 2007, 2002, between 2002, 2007, around that little time, 2001, 2002. That was like the best time for me. That was like my therapy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to be around. I'm being honest. I didn't want to be around that girl. I didn't want to see her. Like I say, I knew the child wasn't mine, so that's all that giving stuff that stuff ceased. Especially when I knew like she wasn't even trying to help me get off the child support. Like these people literally like railroaded me with this. Like that's how I felt, you know. Regardless if it's a law or not, I felt like I was being railroaded because it was like you paying for something that's not yours. And I don't think nobody like that feeling, you know. So, you know, years of depression, years of just couldn't accept the fact that I'm on child support for a child that's not mine. And it was literally like I was running from place to place. I was, you know, meeting women in different places, going different places. I was just trying to get away. I was running away from my pain. I was running away from my, you know, from my past. I was running away until one day I ran away and I couldn't run no more. And I got that voice in my head that said, you need to go back home and you need to face your demons. You need to face your trial and your tribulations. You need to face everything that you that crippled you or you felt like crippled you. You need to face it. Because you don't live at the bottom. You may be visiting, but you don't stay at the bottom when you know, belong at the top. So that became my mentality. You know, I started, you know, thinking highly of myself. I went from not, you know, I went from accepting life to wanting to have things out of life, to wanting to fulfill potential, you know, to wanting to strive to see what that belongs to me. And it was a blessing when I came back and faced those things. And the things that I felt I had to learn, like the things that I couldn't control, don't put a lot of energy into it. Put more energy into the things that you can control. That's what I had to learn. And once I started living like that, you know, it went back to somebody telling me, don't let nothing stop you from driving in your Mercedes-Benz. When you know, supposed to be driving in a Mercedes-Benz. Like, God made your nature to drive in a Mercedes-Benz. Go get you a Mercedes-Benz. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let nothing stop you from that being that person, because that's a part of your happiness, you know? So I never forget that, you know, somebody telling me that, and, you know, I see that metaphorically. Don't let nobody stop you from having the desires of your heart. No matter what you go through, no matter what trials and tribulations you face, don't let nothing stop you from having the desires of your heart. And once that sat in, man, that child support wasn't bothering me no more, because the Lord started blessing me to be successful, to be able to maintain a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? My education kicked in, my resume kicked in. You know, Lord started allowing me to build on those things and to see my potential. You know, and I started being successful even in the midst of, you know, dealing with the child support and dealing with the mental illnesses that I was dealing with at the time behind the child support. And like I say, and I was on this for 20 years, y'all. 20 years I was on child support. Even after the child got grown, I was still on child support. And I was working. I ain't gonna lie, me and a lady friend was vibing one day, and I received a letter in the mail, and that letter I knew it was a department, well, you know, department of you know, whatever, you know, the child support people, and it said that all your child support, you know, expenses would be suspended. And man, I ain't gonna lie, I just went to crying. I won't forget that day. I was like, God, I ain't even asked you for this. God, I ain't even asked you for this. God, I ain't even asked you for this. I'm for real. I was going, I ain't even asked you for this. I was going in. So, I was literally, I'm talking about, I was so excited. I was like, I felt like a chain had been lifted from me. like what that song give? My soul is resting. That's how I felt. Like it was a blessing. Like praise the Lord, hallelujah, I'm free. Like I felt like that, like at that moment, man. Like and that's real. Like there's no joke behind it. It's no other way to explain it. Like, you know, cause it's my situation. And maybe you getting the energy off of me, you felt where I'm coming from just then. But it was like that's how I really felt. Like a chain had been lifted from me. And so, you know, we had to go through an mediation. There was months down the line. And I ain't gonna lie, that door was busy, y'all. Them people was in there literally asking a girl, you know, if he become a millionaire and you can't get no money, you know, if he win the lotto tomorrow, you can't get no money. I'm talking about they was going in. They was really going in, y'all. And I was like, man, listen here. I didn't say nothing. But in my mind, I'm like, why y'all coursing her to make my life, continue to make my life like hell? Like she, you know, want to let that go. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all, you know, stressing her out about this? Or why y'all trying to convince her, you know, to keep me on child support? And she's like, no. Pretty much Mr. Bennett has suffered enough. You know, that's what she said, man. Punchie man has suffered enough. He don't have to go through that. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't have to go through this no more. My child is grown, and he can fend for himself. And I just want, you know, Punchie man to live a very, peaceful life now. And that's what she said. She wanted me to just be happy. And I don't know if because throughout the time she done seen me out and, just seen that I did develop a peace about myself. Like, sometimes people see that no matter what you go through, nothing not stealing your joy. And y'all may hear me say that a lot. You have to put yourself in that mindset, and it's definitely not easy. That's something that you have to work on. You have to work on maintaining your joy. It's not just going like that. You have to work on it. And I appreciated her for that. Like I was at peace with it before, it all had, before that mediation, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't worried. I wasn't troubled. And maybe because I had been dealing with it for so long. But the fact that God was delivering me at the time. And it wasn't nobody but God. Because I felt like he weighed in on her heart. And he troubled her soul. And he allowed her to know that right is right and wrong is wrong. And she did what was right. Mind you, it was a lot of years, even after the, testing, it was little out of that, no, I know this your child, and I wasn't nobody with you, and it was a lot of, in denialness there, and let's just be real, we're gonna call it what it is. And I had to accept that. I had to accept that. And it wasn't something that I wanted to accept it. It wasn't something that was good for me to accept, but I had to accept it because the state wouldn't allow me not to accept it. So just dealing with that situation, like I said, it took a lot out of me, but it also showed me, even after that situation, maybe, God was slowing me down. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure if I had lived a scot-free life, I don't think I would be where I'm at now because I would have been distracted by so many things. You know what I'm saying? By me realizing that hey, by me being in that punishment, you know what I'm saying, it helped me realize discipline is important. It helped me realize that you reap what you sow. It helped me realize that, hey, you know what, you was raised better than that. You know, like, it's so many things that goes into my growth by actually being shackled for that 20 years under that child support. You know what I'm saying? That for a child that's not mine. So many things that I had to learn. I had to learn how to be humble. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn how to be just. I had to learn how to be firm. A lot of characteristics go into my development as a man, being in that child support. You know, so. And then, you know, like I say, fast forward. That chocolate is no longer on me. You know, thanks to the, you know, shouts out to the baby mom, yes, baby mom, for you know, coming to, you know, a consciousness, you know what I'm saying, when it came down to, you know, delivering me from that issue. I appreciate that. You know, and I just want this message to go out there to, you know, these young guys, man. I actually went to a young guy because it was a young guy years later was going through a similar situation. Man, my mom came and picked me up. Hey man, you finna go help out this young boy. She became like an activist for guys who was, you know, being accused of being fathers of children that's not theirs. Mama for a little minute was like a little activist for that, you know. So she coming to get me, and on the face of the bread, right? So go tell him what he need to do. Yeah, man, you know, don't let her put you on child support, you know, get a DNA test, cause what I went through, I had to explain to my mama told she was an activist. But yeah, man, so with that being said, man, I just want somebody to really realize, man, be mindful of your you know, the people that you sleep with. Like just be honest with you, man. With this story, like it made me realize like why it's important to, you know, be with somebody you really, really love. You know what I'm saying? Versus just out there having children from a woman that you really don't love. You know, I was just telling somebody, like, I can have 4 outside kids from a woman, and by me having those children I lust, I might not be the best dad. You know, I might not feel that strong bond, but then I meet this woman that I really love, I cherish, I adore, and I marry her. Then I have kids with her. You know, I'm gonna love them kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bond with them kids because you gotta think about it. They see their daddy every day. The other children don't even know where they daddy yet. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that we have to take in mindful. I don't know how the young man feel about me to this day. You know what I'm saying? He probably, you know, I don't know. I don't know the extent of, you know, what his mom has said to him. But I definitely wouldn't want him to look at me as the enemy, you know. But at the end of the day, I can also see, you know, if he felt some type of way, because he probably felt like I neglected him. Especially, you know, knowing that I was there at a certain period in his life and to just automatically leave. But the truth be told, you know, during that time and during the circumstances that I was dealing with his mom, I didn't want nothing. Like I said, I didn't want to deal with his mom. Mom was putting a lot of pressure on me. So once I found out in mine, all ties was cut loose. You know what I'm saying? And it's being honest, it was my right. I had the right to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't doing anything wrong. Even morally, I had the right to do it. You know, I know people like to bring up morals. Like, yeah, morally, I even had the right to do it because I feel like every child, especially boys, need to know their real fathers. You know, girls, everybody need to know their real father. What if you had to have a blood transfusion and you needed to have your father's side, but you don't know your father? Like, that could be a life and death situation. You know what I'm saying? And other things, other illnesses or mental illness, whatever it may be. You know, you need to know your father, you know. whoever you may be, female, male, grandchildren, everybody need to know Papa, you know. So, you know, I thank God, you know, for being able to, you know, be able to put this message out there. Like I said, hopefully this message touched somebody's heart and really resonated with someone. And I hope somebody get the best out of this message, you know. I also want to give a shout out to, you know, my blessings and prayers go to LSU wide receiver number 2, Lacy's family. Kyrie Lacy, I don't want to say his name wrong, but he passed over the weekend in Texas. I want to say Houston. I don't know the one. I know it was in Texas, but kid had a bright future. We pretty much knew he was gonna get drafted. One of them LSU receivers. It was just sad when you really look at the whole situation of how his death was even caused. It was just a sad situation altogether. And I just hope his family, you know, y'all gain strength. And my prayers goes out to you, Jamar Chase, Jefferson, Thomas. Y'all guys play with him. The kid from New York Giants. Y'all guys play with him. So I know them bonds are really deep. Jaden Daniels, know them bonds really deep. So those guys may need they closest friends or families around them, because it may be really touching to them, because they share the locker room with that guy. They share laughs and jokes with that guy. So something may really hit them, you know, because they lost a brother. You know, that football is a brotherhood, man. Like, it really is. It's a brotherhood, you know. You meet some of the most wonderful people that's going to always be a part of your life in them locker rooms, you know. Even when y'all don't always be around each other, y'all always have a piece of, you know, each other's soul that's connected to you. So I can really feel what he going through I can, because last year I lost 7 people. So I understand what he going through. I understand what everybody going through during this time, especially when it's really sad like this. So, like I say, shouts out to the Lacy family, and y'all gonna be all right. God got y'all. With that being said, I want everybody to have a wonderful day. I hope somebody got something out of this. Remember, pray for me, not pray on me. McClever Thoughts Podcast with Punchie Man. Y'all have a blessed day.